Hey everybody, this is Frill. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 and our playthrough as Argentina here. So let's just go ahead and start progressing time. We are working on our nationalism focus so that we can then change our government over to fascists at some point. We already have this fascist demagogue here working on our daily support, and we're just kind of building up our military. We're just upgraded our infantry equipment, so we've got a couple factories working on that. And actually, now that I'm looking at this steel here, that was something I was going to mention between episodes. I was thinking about, we were originally planning to go in Bolivia. They have a bunch of tungsten, not very much steel though, but Chile over here on the other hand has a bunch of steel, and it's right in their capital. So if we were able to just capture that province, I bet we would win that war, because the victory points, probably the only victory points they really have there. So looks like we can spend a little bit of political power. And what do we want it to do? Can't change to early mobilization until we're fascists, so I'm going to go ahead and do limited conscription, I think. And that will make our manpower pool quite a bit larger. I think it was like 90k before that, and now it's 210, so not bad. We are at 10 army experience, so that means that we can actually add this artillery to our division template here. So let's go ahead and do that. And like I said, that will cost 10, and that's why you want to have these guys training. And it will give the unit some extra HP here, a little bit lower organization, so that's not good. Some better defense, better breakthrough, hard attack, soft attack, all that goes up as well. We will, let's see, it will cost a little bit of tungsten now, but we have plenty of tungsten, so we should be good. And actually, now that we have that, let me just add a couple units here. Now that we have that, you'll notice over here that we actually have a total need. We used to be filled. Now it's actually needed, so slightly reduced speed on the towed artillery here because of the lack of steel. But at the same time, this towed artillery is... Let's see if I can go into my research here. This towed artillery is actually very early artillery. Before I actually want to build up some of this artillery, I'm going to go ahead and wait to really focus on that until I research this interwar artillery, and then we can go ahead and do that. We can't get the improved artillery until 1939, or we could, but it would have that technology minus there. So we have a bunch of insufficient resources, but like I said, as long as we're focusing on this infantry equipment, I think we're good at the moment. So yeah, actually, let's go ahead and actually move our units off of Bolivia here and start to think about Chile here, because that's what I'm going to do. So let's create a front line here, very small one, because we're just going to come in and take them out. Okay, so we finished our nationalism focus. So that is good. Now what do we want to do? I would like to go down into militarism and military youth. I think, yeah, paramilitarism gives us that division trading time minus 10%, but it's kind of in the future. I'm going to focus on another, either industrial effort, I'm thinking, or army, or that's not army, that's aviation, army effort. So army effort or industrial effort. Definitely want to focus on building some more factories, but I think we need to get on a land doctrine here before we declare war, so let's get that going. Okay, so these guys are moving on down. Create this little front line, and it's not the best idea here, because Chile's going to be able to move in to these areas that don't have a front line, but the plan of attack, obviously can't do this now because we don't have a justification for war, but plan of attack would just be to come in cap this province, and I think that would be all that we would need. And something I was going to check, I might have already mentioned it, but I repeat myself sometimes. I did read that at one point in the dev diaries that, and I haven't tested it, but if you're a fascist nation and you declare war, you're at war, you can then declare war on anybody. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll be going in Chile and we can quickly take Uruguay here. Maybe even Paraguay. I don't think Bolivia. Bolivia is probably a little bit too large for us. So the Olympic Games have ended. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world. The 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history we have enjoyed limited live television coverage, so that's good to know. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. Not sure what we will do next with our political power. Obviously, we'll need some of that political power to justify war, but we don't need all of it. As long as we have like 80, I want to say, that's usually about enough to justify a war. Got a bunch. Okay, so we finished our machine tools. What do we want to do? What else were we doing, actually, before I... Support weapons, we're almost done with that. And it's 1918 support weapons, so not very good. How close were we on this one? Let's see, about a little bit less than 44 days out. Exactly, so don't want to do anything on land doctrine. Now, in terms of land doctrine, I probably could go over this later, but I'm going to do grand battle. I'm thinking I was basically trying to think between superior firepower and grand battle, because this one's doctrine focuses on throwing shells, not men. We have low manpower, so our manpower is precious, bullets are cheap, but extensive planning and preparation before engaging in the battle is the key to success. And I think that's pretty good, because our max planning would go up a lot, and we get some organization bonuses earlier than this particular tree, I think, anyway. So otherwise, we actually need... Should we go ahead and upgrade that artillery, or get support equipment? We could use support equipment at some point. 140 days for this. 233 days. This would give us plus 20% of factory output, and max factories for each of our provinces would go up. So I want to do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Get that done early. I mean, obviously we have to weigh everything against each other. Every country is slightly different. We've got low factories. If we were, I don't know, even if you were some big country, you'd probably want to research that into that and build up as many factories as you could before the war starts, so. But luckily, the wars I think that we'll have, at least at the very beginning, should be pretty quick wars. That's the hope anyway. Okay, so we do have another free military factory. So what do we want to do? We have a free civilian factory as well. Let's go ahead. Should we do some trading? Let's do some trading and get some steel. No, we have steel, but I think we're going to need to go ahead and do a little bit of trading for it. So we'll do that. We'll have 6 factories to continue building our next factory. So I guess we'll build that one down here. Doesn't have anything there yet. And with that trading, we should be good for... This says 6 right now, but I think we'll be trading for another 8, so we should be good. These take over. Yeah, so we're good. We only need aluminum and rubber. Now, Brazil has some, and I might have gone over this already, but has some major rubber right here. Some aluminum there. Venezuela has a huge amount of oil. We probably don't need oil that much, though. We've got a decent amount ourselves already, and plus these neighbors of us have it as well, so... I'm surprised that and I'll probably jinx it, but the Spanish Civil War has not fired off yet. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Usually fires off, I guess historically, I think it was in, what, June or July of 36? Might have been July. But yeah, it's a little bit random. I've seen it in this game, since we're more of a sandbox than Hearts of Iron 3 in the previous games. I would always go off on the exact date, but I've seen it go off between March of 36, and I've seen it go off as late as 1938, so can't be counted on like the previous games for firing off. Obviously, we do not have the infantry equipment yet to be building these infantry, but yeah, because we're upgrading our units already, but we're focusing on this pretty good. Actually, we can, if we know that what we're doing with our air, let's go ahead. I haven't really looked at it very much, but move our close support aircraft. So we finished our Army Effort National Focus. So what were we thinking about doing next? That would give us that land doctrine, which is very good. Let's move back on over to Industrial Effort. And we kind of have a choice to make between... We'll get building slots on each of these, but we choose between a civilian factory in a particular province or a military factory. But this tree takes us into extra research slots. We'll probably do both of them at some point in time, but let's do this one. You don't meet the requirements. Not enough building slots for civilian factories. Is it the same deal with these guys? Yes, we can't do that. That makes our choice a little bit easier. So here, do we want to... Yeah, let's go ahead and do equipment effort. Actually, I wanted to check one little thing here. If I go down all the way to here, yeah, these are all 70 days, regardless of whether it's nuclear weapons or, I don't know, V2 rockets or whatever it might be. It all takes 70 days, so, for your focus. Oh yeah, we were going to, and we just keep getting interrupted. Not that there's that much going on, but... Alright, so we did these support weapons, so that should be good. And we just finished off that land doctrine bonus, so we get a 50% reduced research time, so we'll get this going. Alright, so now my thought was, we were talking aircraft, and I was going to move... I thought we had an airbase over here. Maybe, oh, there it is. Could kind of not really see it. So... we will move these guys. We've got fighters and close air support there. Okay, so we'll move them to this airfield in Mendoza. I don't expect for the aircraft to really be that much changing to our battle plans, but we'll see. It couldn't hurt. And actually, now that we have this extra steel, it looks like our, what is this, a destroyer that we're building is also getting some more progress now. The only thing that's not at its max progress is this close air support, but it's filled already, so we're good. We are getting up on the production efficiency on our infantry equipment, and it's going on our towed artillery too, but as we already discussed, we'll be upgrading that towed artillery. We'll be upgrading the infantry too, back up to, what, 1939 infantry, but for the moment, we should be okay. Surprised that we haven't had any sort of fascist events. Sometimes they fire off, like mentioning something about a coup d'etat. We're almost up to political power once again. Although I'll probably wait till 200 to choose something, because if we did somehow switch over to that fascist government, we're going to need that political power for justifying a war. And just to stockpile just a little bit here. Finished our equipment national focus. So continuing on, probably doctrines. Let's go ahead and do doctrine because we kind of want to move our research towards, we're doing that trench warfare now. I probably want to get it to max planning. Yeah, we want to get into that one. These doctrines don't have any particular years associated with them, so we should be good. And we're about ready to at least start looking at a political advisor or somebody else. Theorists. Let me keep progressing time, but at least have it going slowly while I look at this. So army experience gain, land doctrine research time. We might do that guy. This one's not bad either. Industrial research time. I kind of like that. Small arms research time, that's okay. They don't take that long as they are, so we'll probably do a Prince of Terror at some point once we actually are occupying some territories to affect the partisans. So let's do the industrial concerns. Basically you have to choose between industrial or the electronics there, but I'm a little bit surprised we haven't had any of these fascist events yet. We are growing, though, our support. Daily change of 0.6. At this, popularity affects our scale 33%, so I guess it's will increase as this goes on. The democracy is losing 0.2 per month. That's 0 already, so it's fine. Ah, so we just figured out some of this Chilean divisions here. Ah, here we go. But this is not what we want. While the attempts of the fascist movements to revitalize the people's pride in their nation have seen some success, the resistance against these ideas remains high. The generals plotting to overthrow the current administration are disappointed in the lack of confidence the Argentinian population themselves seem to have in Argentinian superiority. They remain certain that the people will eventually tire of Agustin Pedro Justo's lies, but are divided on what course of action to take. Some call for a coup to be executed now before Argentina's enemies take advantage of the weakness. However, doing so while public support is limited would plunge the nation into civil war. Greatness can scarcely be achieved without spilling blood, but the blood of our countrymen, even traitors to the cause, is precious. So yeah, I would agree on that statement that they must be united. We must unite the people, then rule them. I don't want to be fighting a war against ourselves in a civil war, so yeah, the non-aligned supporters. And as we know, the non-aligned supporters have the majority, so we don't want to do that. I'll let the Spanish go do that, but if all they want, but I'm okay with it right now as it is. So we did finally build a new infantry. We can add him to the line over here. Let's see here. There we go. And get him training, I think. Maybe you need to stop this and get him trained. He probably has to arrive before he can do anything like that. So yeah, we actually doing a little bit better in that respect in the whole infantry equipment. Looks like communist support has gone down slightly, I think. I don't see a daily change in there, but it does seem to be going down ever so slightly. Yeah, you just saw that there. It went all the way down to 8. And our research of trench warfare has finished, so let's go ahead. I think we were working on, yes, so not the exact time I wanted, although these research stockpiles, so we can wait until this is going to be done in 8 days, and then we can go ahead and research that next doctrine here, this grand battle plan. I think Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and stockpile it, because I'm not sure if I research it before I get that bonus, whether it affects it or not. I don't want to take that risk, so I might as well wait since it's going to stockpile anyway. Okay, we've got this another option for our civil war, and I'll just choose what I did already. Let's say we must unite the people first, then rule them. Our concentrated industry is also done. Alright, but it does look like we're out of time for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please hit the like button, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.